Okay, so this is Onshape. This is the program that we're going to use instead of Autodesk Inventor. So last year you might have done Autodesk Inventor with 7th grader with Mr. Wilson. This is kind of the version that we can use on the Chromebooks. So after you get an account, you are going to come to this, and this is kind of like our dashboard. So every time you open up the program, you're going to see this. So what this is this is the last ones that are opened by me, ones that I was working on. If I created a folder that has more parts and pieces in it, and then any documents that I may have that I have made. You will also see a shared with me, so there might be some other people's work that people share with you. Just make sure that I can see, so I can see who modified it and who owns it. So if you're modifying somebody else's work, I can see that. So when you start a new program, you're always going to start with Create. And sometimes I might ask you to make a folder to put all of your work in, but we're going to just make a document today. And we're just going to call this cube, not cube. And we're going to hit Create Public Document. Public document means that anybody can see it if they really wish to, but nobody's going to be going through your stuff. So this is a little bit like Autodesk Inventor for those of you that have it. If you have not had it, it's brand new and it all works the same way. So these are the stuff that you can do after you have a 3D shape. And this is the different planes of origin that you have. Here's your center point of your drawing. And here's your cube to kind of turn everything around. So when we start a new project and a new part, we hit Sketch first, and then we hit which plane we want to draw. So usually we will either draw the front plane, which means that we're looking directly at the front of the image, or we will draw the top view, which is looking down from above, drawn at the image from top down. So today we're just going to do the front, and then to turn it so we can see it, we're just going to come over here to this cube and click on front. So now I have my image, okay, my sketch cube. This toolbar up here is your drawing toolbar, and this is everything that you can use when you are in a 2D shape. So we have all of our different drawing tools here: line, rectangle, circle, arch, polygon, spleen, all of these different drawing tools, and then you have your different offsets, your mirroring, your dimension, and any kind of stuff to make it together, make it. If you want 2 points exactly horizontal instead of dimensioning both of them, you can go to here and have some different things happen. So today we're just going to practice drawing. We're just going to make a basic shape. So we're going to start with our rectangle. So we're going to click on rectangle, make sure it's highlighted. And then you can click anywhere in this square up here. You're going to drag down and click anywhere over here. So I just click, I don't hold on to my mouse, and I click again. So notice how we have a blue square on our screen. Blue square means that I need dimensions to this. Okay, so we just drew it, we didn't dimension anything. The program doesn't know what size this needs to be. So the next step that we do after we draw a shape is we come up to dimension. Dimension is this little arrows in between the two lines, okay? So there's two different ways to dimension. I'm going to show you both because we need to do both for this shape. The first one is you just hover over a line until it turns orange. Once it's orange, you click on it and drag it up. And then you are going to change the dimension. We're going to change this to 4. This is already set to inches, so I can just put 4. I don't have to put the IN in there. You can if you want to, however. Okay, so I have that side at 4. Now I need my vertical, so I'm going to hover over again until it's orange and click. Change that to 4 also. And then you can see that this is not even. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on my blue line, and then I'm going to click on my center circle, and I'm going to change that to 2 because 2 is half of 4. And I notice now that these lines turn black, And that means that those two lines have enough dimensions for the program to make it, and the blue lines do not. So we have to add one more dimension. We click on the horizontal line or the blue line, and then we click on that middle circle again, and we put that at 2. Now I like to put my dimensions outside of my shape. It's just easier for me to read. If you really wanted to have them inside your shape, it's totally fine. It works the same way. So now we have an all black square, which means that we are ready to extrude it into a 3D shape. If you do not have a black square, please make sure that you have all the dimensions that I have, and keep going on this until you do have a black square, because you can't move on to the next step until you do. So we're going to hit this green check mark for sketch 1, and it's going to just take away our dimension. So it doesn't look like it did much, but it did. We're going to come over here to this cube, and we're going to turn it so that it is isometric, and we can see kind of what we're doing. Here's our different ones for how to extrude different shapes. So extrude takes a plane like this and it just pops it out straight. Okay. Revolve is the other one that you're going to be using the most, and revolve takes a middle axis and it revolves it around, so it'll make it a circular image. We're going to use extrude today, so I'm going to click on extrude, and then it tells me I need the face of the sketch. So you can either click on sketch 1 over here on the side, or you can click on sketch 1 over here. Doesn't matter either way. Now it's telling me the depth that I want to go, and this is at 1 inch right now. I want this to be a cube, so I'm going to change that to 4 inches. This tells me what way it's going, so it's coming out straight. If I want it to reverse, I can click on that arrow, and if I want it to be in the middle so that I would have middle lines throughout this whole thing, which is what I want, then I would put symmetric on here. Once I have this looking the way that I want, I hit the green check mark. So now we have a cube, pretty basic, just gives you the idea of what to do. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put a circle on the top of our shape. Now in order to do that, we need to start a new sketch. So we come over here to sketch, and we click on the top cube that we want, and then we come over here to top. Now to do a circle, you hit this image right here that has the center point circle. So that means I'm starting in the center of where I want my circle to be. And I'm going to make, we'll just do a center circle. So I'm just going to make a center circle here. And then I'm going to come to dimension, and I'm going to make that 2.5 inches. And now you notice how that is already black because we started with this center point, so it already knows where it needs to be. So I can hit the green check mark, and I am going to go to extrude again. And this time I am going to remove some material. Okay, so I'm going to click on remove first, and it still asks me what face I want. And I'm going to click on this, and I'm not going to go all the way through. I'm only going to go 2 inches in. And if I hit OK, you can't really see it there, but you can see it when we turn it. So if I turn my cube a little bit, you can see that I have my hole. Okay, so now we're going to practice putting a square on another side. So I take my sketch, and I go on my side that I want, and I hit right. And now I'm going to put a rectangle. And I'm just going to draw it here, and then I'm going to dimension. So dimensioning your rectangle, you're first going to do the outside edge, and I want this to be at 3. And I want this to be at 2. Now I'm going to go, you can either go to the center point or you can go to the edge, but I can go to the center point to here and put that at 1. And then I'm going to put this one at 1.5. Now it's right in the middle. And I hit Finish Sketch. And this time I'm going to pop it out. So I'm going to go to Extrude again, and I'm going to click on my image, and I'm going to pop it out 2 inches. So we have that. Okay, so you can just keep going with this and adding more different things. The next thing that I want to do is I want to add a fillet, and a fillet is the rounded edge. So this is the fillet up here, and you can just click on all of the different lines that you want to add it to. I'm going to add it to the main cube, and I'm going to turn my cube so I get all of the edges. Make sure I have every one of them. And then I can change this. We'll change it to 0.5 once and see what happens. So you can see that I have rounded those edges. So I can hit OK. And next I want to add a chamfer, which is just a kind of a beveled edge. And I'm going to add that just to the face of this block. And I'm going to add that at 0.3. So I have that. You can also add a chamfer to your main piece. But if you have them both highlighted, you see how I had them both highlighted here, then it is going to change the dimension to both of them. If I just have the one highlighted, I want to keep that at 0.3, then I'd have to exit out of the tool and go again to get this one at 0.1 or whatever I would want it at. Actually 0.2 looks good. Alright, so this is my image. This is what I wanted. I just wanted you guys to kind of have an idea of how to do different things with this program. So what I would like you to do now is I want you to share. So you can do it 2 different ways. You can go back through Onshape, or you can share here. And if I hit share, you're going to have a couple of different things. First of all, if you wanted just me to see it, you could put my name in here under individuals. But I would like you to share this to the team. So you guys are in teams based on your class period. So you might be period 2 or period 5. But you're going to click on your team that you have here. My team is trial. Okay. And then you are going to change this to can view. So that means that people can see your work, but they cannot edit your work, which is important. They can comment if they have a comment on what you did, or this looks nice or whatever. So they can comment, but they cannot edit, and that's important. Once you have it set at period 2 or period 5, can view, then you're going to hit share. And that just means that you turned in your work. So when I go into my program, I can see that you have turned in your stuff to this document. If you made a mistake and you put an edit here and you did that kind of thing, hit the X button and that will unshare it to different people and make sure. If you want to do it the other way, you can come back here and you can highlight the one that you want, and you can click on the share button here, and it does the same thing. Make sure that the same thing is over. Then you're going to have a document on your thing that says it's modified by me, owned by me. That's the ones that you turn in. If it's owned by someone else, then that means that it's somebody else's work. So that is our first assignment. You should have the cube turned in, and now I want you to watch the bottle assignment, and that is your second one that needs to be done today. So you need to do this cube and this bottle and have those in for your assignment today.